Hi, welcome to the Secular Scriptures. I'm Gail. This is a lighthearted and short video today. In the very silly but highly entertaining atheist versus Christian debate space, there is this really annoying thing that Christian apologists do where they start a sentence with, "Atheists believe." And I always want to be like, hold on, let me stop you there. But do go on. And then the Christian apologist statement maker will say something like, the universe came from nothing. And no matter how many times some physicist, who may even be Christian, tells them that the majority of scientific theories about the origins of the current universe do not involve ex nihilo anything, they still persist in making this assertion. What drives me bonky about this is that the majority of Christian denominations do believe in creatio ex nihilo, creation from nothing. I think the only big one that doesn't is the LDS, oddly making them one of the few that somewhat align with modern science in this regard. So for those creationists who aren't LDS, this means that the statement is a major self-own. It doesn't make any sense to say this. If a Christian's religious belief is God created the world from nothing, why are they trolling with atheists believe the world was created from nothing? Like the nothing element in their argument is somehow the unbelievable part. They just removed God from their own equation and then use it to make fun of the mechanism that they claim that their God used. Like what? They can imagine an infinite God, but not an infinite universe. Okay. It's so logical. Babe, do you know what logic is? Logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. On a related note, a super hot, dense state of matter is not the same thing as nothing. It's a whole lot of everything packed tightly together. Just because a few atoms got really excited about bumping into each other and went boing does not mean that the current universe came from nothing or that God did it. Also in science, I don't know is a valid answer. Also, just because it's science doesn't mean atheists made it or believe it. Many scientists are Christians. Most atheists aren't scientists. Most scientists aren't physicists. Most physicists aren't astrophysicists. And only a very few astrophysicists are theoretical astrophysicists. And only about half of those are atheist or agnostic. Scientist does not equal atheist, and atheist does not equal scientist. Please stop conflating. By the way, my personal favorite theory for the beginning of the universe is the Big Bounce. I think it just sounds fun. The next thing presented will often be the Watchmaker argument, which boils down to humans make shit, therefore God. And oh my God, please stop. The invention of the automobile does not have anything to do with cosmic Christ cop. Just stop. You're not helping and you're giving me a headache. Birds build nests, therefore God. Beavers build dams, therefore God. Termites build termite mounds, therefore God. Wombats shit cubes, therefore God. Look at the trees! Yes, dear, they're very pretty and also necessary for a healthy functioning planet. Can we please be responsible with our natural resources and stop acting like they don't matter just because you believe Jesus is coming back on a white horsey in, what is it, April this time? If I find a watch in a field and I don't see anyone around, I'm going to assume that someone dropped it. I will also assume that that someone was a human who owned the watch that another human working in a watch factory made, with a chain of human workers right back to the miners who dug up the raw materials from the earth. Know what I won't do? Assume that some supernatural being magically put a human-made object in a field for me to find. I'm a farmer. I know who has been in my fields, so it's a short list of people to call to ask if they've lost a watch. If I'm in a public park, I will take the watch to the park office lost and found like a responsible citizen. Humans make shit does not equal God. But Gail, who made the raw materials? Can't answer that, can you? Please, for the love of all that is good in this world, crack open a 7th grade earth science textbook and read it. If that doesn't do it for you, take a Rocks for Jocks class at your local community college. Take a gander at the periodic table of elements and maybe figure out what all those little squiggles mean. If that's not good enough for you, Star Talk is free on YouTube. And then apologists will hop, skip, and jump over to their biggest gotcha, life on Earth and EVILution, which they proceed to explain so badly that any 8th grader with a competent science teacher can do a better job. Evolution is the process by which animals, plants, and other living organisms are transformed into different forms by the accumulation of changes over successive generations. No, humans did not come from gorillas. Please stop that. Just stop. Oh, atheists believe that life came from nothing, or slime. No, and kind of. And I'm pretty sure Christians believe that too. Scientists theorize that life originated via abiogenesis, amino acids and other complex chemical reactions that eventually formed RNA and cell walls with a bunch of chemistry stuff and environmental conditions on early Earth. So yes, life came from non-life. We agree. And through whatever quirk of fate or environmental circumstances, all current life is descended from Luca, the last universal common ancestor that we know of. Was the progenitor of Luca the only life to ever happen? No. It's just what survived, and if you need life to be miraculous, there it is. These Christian apologists believe that animals rose from the earth, slime if you will, though that's probably cyanobacteria, so already technically alive, but whatever. Birds appeared out of thin air, and fish formed from the waters. They think humans were made from a mud sculpture. How is that more plausible than Luca? Moreover, how is that much different from abiogenesis other than as a matter of timing and attribution? Charles Darwin was Anglican, though he moved into agnosticism later in life. Gregor Mendel, a Catholic, discovered heritable genetic traits in pea plants, though he didn't use the word genetic. Is all of this faffing just because chimpanzees freak them out? To be honest, they freak me out too, but that's just because I know how dangerous they can be. Why is the concept that humans are a natural part of this world so difficult? I'm getting a migraine. Y'all upset Erica's stomach and you give me a headache. Why is this all just so bad? Isn't it enough to say, I believe? And that should be the end of it right there. Like these arguments, which are not evidence, arguments are not evidence, are so far off the rails that I don't even know what to think about them. Some TikTok blonde just argued God based on spoons and lattes, and I'm not even kidding. What are we doing here? Don't we have bigger problems? Does your entire religion fall apart if humans evolved from an ape-like ancestor instead of actually being made from a mud statue on either the 6th or 4th day, depending on what the first 2 chapters say? I don't watch this style of debate very often because I'm just so tired of it. It's a straw man fishing for herrings in a pond that's turtles all the way down. And my time is worth more. And yes, I'm listening to these things while I'm painting or sculpting or whatever, but I'd prefer my brain not liquefy and leak out my ears, thank you very much. I really hope most of my Christian friends either don't know who Ken Ham and Frank Turek are, or that they roll their eyes as hard as I do. Unfortunately, these people want control of our public education system because ignorance somehow equals more money for the ultra-wealthy, I guess. And if you don't believe that, you need to pay attention to who is arguing that slavery is just fine. Thank you so much for joining me on the Secular Scriptures. Go watch some Gutsick Gibbon, Star Talk, Lindsay Nicole, Clint's Reptiles, Dr. Joel Duff's SciShow, Paleo Chris, or Geo Girl, and yes, some of them are Christians.